Hello, everybody. It is Wednesday, October 21st. This is the third Wednesday of the month, Florida Course Supervisor Program meeting. And who I have currently on the Zoom meeting is Pam Bast, Sherry Lucky, Dennis Hassel, Desiree Salmon, Joshua Moreno, Noah Torres, Pedro Milat, and Tom Nestor. And let's see who else we are expecting that is not here. Monica Dubé, Josh Horowitz, and Fitzgerald Wolf. Monica, Josh, and Fitzgerald said they would be here, and they're not. Everyone else said they would view the recording, with the exception of Chris Jones, who did not indicate, and Javon, who is not participating at this point, and is in communication that he would not be. So that's who we have here. If anyone would like to reach out to Monica, Josh Horowitz, and Fitzgerald.
Yeah, I'll get on the WhatsApp right now. So Monica, Josh,
And Fitzgerald.
Josh Horowitz.
Calling Josh right now.
Josh
Josh is
Horowitz.
calling Josh.
Okay.
Okay. I
Oops.
texted Monica.
Someone else call Monica and someone else call the other person.
Fitzgerald.
Yep,
Okay. Hi, Fitzgerald.
Oh, good.
And there's Monica. Okay, so it is now 6:02. Has anyone heard from Josh Horowitz?
No, not yet.
Okay.
I just called and sent him a text.
All right. Well, given that we were not all here, as we said we would all be here.
Excuse
who
me,
would like-
didn't Josh just put on the WhatsApp that he's feeling sick?
Jamie.
That was Dave Williams.
Dave
Oh,
Williams
sorry.
and Jamie, but not Josh.
Okay, sorry, my bad.
And I get that people communicate that way, but the website is what's so. So Fitzgerald and Monica.
Yeah.
Who would like, I'm not going to request both of you, but who would like to restore your word and integrity for the two of you for not being here when you said you would? Who'd like to do that?
I'll do
Okay, great.
that.
Fitzgerald.
I said I'd be there at 6 on the call before 6, and I was not. The impact is that you don't know me as being my word, and the impact is I wasn't my word. And what I'm putting in place is actually already done. That I forgot the password from my computer, and I replaced it. And from now on, I'll be on time.
Okay. Does anyone have anything that's incomplete about Fitzgerald's restoring integrity?
Tim, I've had a question.
Yeah.
Something occurred to me when you were creating the opportunity to restore integrity, and we're restoring the integrity of the group, right? Not,
Yep.
is it, am I?
Yeah, I requested someone to restore integrity for the two of them. Exactly.
Okay, but is it for us because we're all a group? This is really for my training, right? You
It
kind of
was
get the,
just- Here's the thing. I didn't want to have each person restore integrity.
well, here's what I'm looking at. Like, I was not on a call on time yesterday, and the circumstances were the circumstances, and I still had the opportunity to restore integrity. So that's kind of where I was going with that question. It's really for my own training. Like, you know,
This is so perfect. Can you just hold it for a minute, Pedro?
Yeah,
This is so
yeah,
perfect.
pause. Yeah, pause.
All right, good. So we're going to pause this conversation because the first conversation we're going to have is Pedro is going to actually create something for us around restoring integrity. So it's all perfect. But to begin our meeting, who would like to generate the bold statement of who we are?
I will,
Okay, great.
since I already got all the questions right. Hi, everybody. All right.
Hi.
We, the course supervisors, are given by a possibility bigger than ourselves, holding as sacred the integrity of the clearing in which transformation occurs, causing the fulfillment of our brand, master providers of whatever is needed.
Great, thank you. Who would like to generate the reason for the existence of our enterprise?
The reason for our existence as an enterprise, we exist to empower and enable people in fulfilling those matters that are of interest or importance to them. And in the process, leaves them transformed with more power, freedom, self-expression, and peace of mind.
Great, thank you.
All right.
Okay, so let's get right into the meeting. That's who we are. That's why we're here. And I'd like to turn over the first, I'm going to say 10 minutes of the meeting to Pedro, our integrity representative.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, first of all, thank you everybody for being on the call today. Great seeing you all. All right. So I had a conversation with Tim and I had a conversation with Pam yesterday. And what I'm going to say is around the world of what does it look like to restore integrity? Okay. So a couple things. The reason why I'm bringing up this conversation is we've had a couple of you course supervisors recently restore integrity, which I acknowledge you for doing that. And one of the things that that I've noticed is that when you restore integrity, and I'm not talking you, I'm talking you in general as a body, there's a pull for wanting to, get into a story. Okay. So that's all fine. It's all good. But, when you get into a story about restoring something, first of all, you're not really restoring anything. You're justifying that there has to be a story for why something happened. Okay. Now, what I want to discuss today and what I want to share with you and what I want to, leave in the space of this conversation is what does it actually look like to restore integrity with velocity? Okay. And just so you know, everybody, I'm accountable for having you restore integrity with velocity. Okay. So what does that mean? Okay. So, we have a guideline on our CS website. We have a guideline for how we restore integrity. Okay. And there's a structure to it. And I know, I think Josh, I went through it with you at one point. We were looking at it. We went through a couple things. So, first things first, when you restore integrity, you want to have it be as clean as possible. And you want to be present to that what you're actually restoring is the workability of the state or condition of whatever that situation was. Okay. So it has a lot of power and it's very clean when you can restore integrity just by saying, okay, I didn't do what I said I would do. Okay. And the damage, and that's it. That's it. That's all you need to say. We're all course supervisors. We get it. You didn't do what you said you were going to do. And then just simply distinguish what is the damage and the consequence of you not honoring your word. And there might be something in the space for you. There might be something in the space for others, but you just want to get it flat, just clean and simple. And then last but not least, you do want to say, to complete it, you do want to say, okay, so by looking at all of this, what I can see now to put in place to put in place is, this is what I'm going to do so I can ensure that it won't happen again. Okay? So do you all get the world of the simplicity of restoring integrity? That's a question.
Or asked another way, is there anyone who doesn't get it or has a question or a yeah, but how about anybody? Okay. Everyone
Going
seems to
once?
be flat.
Okay, so here's another thing. And this is something, it's really interesting. I got a couple of really great, like on the court real examples. Okay. So when you restore integrity and you continuously restore integrity about the same thing over and over again, one of the impacts or one of the damages and consequences is that whoever you're restoring to, we stop listening to you as your word. And then your word is diminished. Like, I don't trust you anymore. Okay. Also, if you're restoring integrity with a, wanting to justify with a story or, doing some other things, quite frankly, to whom you're restoring to becomes a story, and it actually becomes boring. And one of the impacts is, I don't want to read this anymore. Like, I don't want to read it anymore. I just erase it, I skip it, or I put it in my, whatever folder I have on my email. But it becomes that. So that's an impact of what does it look like, right? So here's two examples. So one is, and I recall this from a conversation. I had this with Tim also. So Erin Snyder, she kept, as Erin Snyder, forum leader, she kept breaking her word to, was it Laurel Sheaf?
Laurel Sheaf. Mm-hmm.
Right. So
It
Laurel
was
Sheaf
her
is
coach.
also,
Her coach.
yeah, coach. Right. There you
at the
go.
time.
So it became so much so, same thing over and over and over and over again, that it got to a point where you said, look, next time you do this, you're going to come to my house and you're going to do my garden. And then she did, as I understand, several times, until that was no more. And then there was another example. Kai, our seminar leader, gave us a great example the other day. There was something also around another forum leader that kept breaking his word about a certain situation. And then who he was accountable to said, all right, here's the thing. You're going to give me a check and I'm going to cash it. You're going to give me a check for $3,000. And then when you decide that you're going to honor your word, I'm going to give it back to you. But for the meantime, I'm going to keep it.
Yeah,
Right?
when the accountable person said, when I decide I can trust you, I'll give you the check back.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
get ready to write checks, guys.
oh yeah, let's write some checks. Now, here's the whole point about where I'm coming from with this. There is, let me say it this way. Have it be that there is something at stake for you, that when you notice that you keep breaking your word and you don't honor it, what you want to see is, what is it that you're going to put at stake in this situation? Because for sure, there's nothing at stake there for you.
Yep.
It's a repetitive situation that just keeps going over and over again, and you're not really interested in restoring it, because it wouldn't be that way, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to stop there, and I'm going to ask, what are you hearing in this conversation?
Pedro, what opened up for me is how I continued to. What opened up for me was when this evening I cleared all my emails. right? I restored my integrity twice about having to clear out my emails and responding to emails within 3 days, business days, so on and so forth. And what I realized was probably 90% of the emails that I had unread in my inbox were not urgent emails. However, they were all revolving around the same subject, which was 1, coaching in real estate, and 2, syndicating apartment deals in real estate. Both of these 2 areas are things that I'm saying that I want, right? I want to get to that next level of my business, whether it's in my actual sales business, increasing production, or if it's buying apartment buildings. And what I realized was, holy crap, this is what I'm saying that I want, yet subconsciously I'm telling myself I'm not worthy of this, so I can't even look at this right now. I'm not capable of taking this on right now. And I'm just going to continue to push it back and push it back and push it back. And some of these emails went back 45 days, 60 days. So it's not only what's at stake is, wow, I wasn't even certain that I could even achieve these things. So I was pushing these emails back and just putting them to the back burner. And what's at stake there is my future, my goals, ambitions, things that I want to do to get to the next level, my family, income, all these things. But it wasn't as big of a loss, or it wasn't as big of a stake for me to just take the time to get flat with those emails and take the actions that I needed to.
Okay, good. So if you look at it, Josh, like, you know, if I say I'm going to put something at stake, I don't even trust myself anymore. Right? I got to find somebody. And we have, what is it? 11 people here that you can put at stake something and that can hold you to account on whatever you want to create. Right? So you can use that. I can't force you to put something at stake just because I want you to. You really got to want it. And one way to get it is to share it with somebody and put it at stake, because now it lives in somebody else's listening, not your own. So that's awesome. And that's a great way to actually make it, like for real. And trust me, once you do that and you have a transformation in that, you're not going to recognize yourself, and you're going to take on something else and something else. So anytime you find yourself inside of that, wow, you really got to look, you know what? I don't know. I mean, this is not working. What do I need to do? What's at stake here? What do I have to say? What do I need to transform here? Who do I want to share it with? And then put it out there and then see what happens.
One thing I'm going to add.
Yeah.
So remember when we're on our Monday calls, or you're listening to our Monday calls, is that we ask people to say who we are, because there are people listening to recordings, and there'll be people listening to this recording, and it might be difficult for people to not actually know who's speaking. So if we can move forward, so like, this is Tim, right? Just, hey, this is Tim, and what I'm going to add here is that we're creating the structure of having a buddy in our program. We used to have assignment buddies when we had assignments that you did a weekly assignment with your assignment buddy. For those of you that started this year in January, we haven't been using assignment buddies because there was no assignment buddy. So you were never assigned a buddy, but some of us have had buddies. They're not your mentor. They're your buddy in the program that is there to support you. In addition to your mentor. Your mentor has specific things. A buddy is there for you to just ask questions about, ask to hold accountable for something. Like, look, I'm going to get 50 emails done today, and by 2:00, I'm going to text you that I've either done them or not. Like, that's who your buddy is for you. So Dennis is working on creating that list now. And by next Sunday, not this Sunday, the following Sunday, we'll be distributing the buddy list. So this will support you in having someone to hold you accountable for whatever it is you want your buddy to do. You guys create it. Okay. Anybody else have any questions or yeah buts about what Pedro's creating around integrity and trust and having something at stake?
I would like to say something.
Okay.
So it works. You all know transformation works, but you have to be up to something. Like really up to something. And that's how this works. So that's what I want to say.
Okay, good. Well, let's get up to something.
Yeah.
So anybody else have anything about integrity, trust, who you are, how you show up, the power of restoring your word with others? Anything you want to share about that? Anything you've noticed in the past week about
This is
it?
Hi. So thank you.
Who is this?
This is Noah.
Okay,
This is
great.
I don't know. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, thank you for this because this is something that I'm dealing with in my life. I've been one who's been giving promises to the point where like I don't even believe myself anymore, and yeah, what I've been seeing is that what I can see now is that there's something that's not at stake. And instead, what I've been doing is interacting with the story of it all prior to even giving my promise. I'm still in the story of it all. And it's not empowering at all. Like I'm in the middle of Nevada, on the other side of the country. And with this conversation, like it makes it so present how fragile it is for me to or not fragile, that's a story, but it makes it present for me, how much I need this in my life, and
When
how
you
much
say this, what do you mean by this?
this conversation
Uh-huh.
and how much I need you all as well, because it's it's in the us, it's in the we, it's in the conversation that we get to create, that my life will be transformed, and I think that when things get tough, I leave, and meanwhile, I do understand I'm doing something. It's easy for me just to leave and do something else. Meanwhile, I try to figure out the other stuff, but it's not working. And so just thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, I got it, Noah. You're welcome. This is why we're here with each other, to support each other, what we're dealing with. You have a mentor, you're going to have a buddy, and you have any one of us at all times. And when you're listening to the Monday calls, when Gina Kotner creates, every level 4 is there for you. Not one level 4 will say no to a request in what you're dealing with, being there to support you, coaching you.
And just to be responsible, I am safe. I'm safe, and I am taking care of my well-being. It's just I'm at a point where I want what's next, that next level. I want that transformation, and so thank you. And yes, I'm going to be taking that on as well.
Great. Thanks, Noah. All right, who else? Okay, well, if there's nothing else about integrity and trust and who you are out here is nothing but word and word, Like really, that's what this really comes down to. We are I am nothing and word. So, you know, your word is sacred.
Tim, I have, help me out with this.
Who
So
is this? Who
this is
this?
Joshua. This is Joshua Moreno.
Okay.
And I have an agreement that I break practically every morning, to wake up at 5 a.m. and go to the gym. And I did it this morning. I did it yesterday, where I said, you know what, I'm going to snooze. And I did not go to the gym.
Mhm.
And every single time I just make myself wrong about it. And I say, okay, well, you know, I'm going to restore integrity. I'm just going to do it tomorrow. And it just does not, I don't get around to doing it consistently. So
Mhm.
what is it that I can create, or what is it that's missing in my structure, I guess, to assure that, you know, I actually get this done, other than honoring my word?
Yeah. Well, I don't know that there's anything in your structure that's not working. The alarm goes off and you hear it.
Yeah.
You know,
Can I,
it's,
can I
it's
jump
what are
in?
you, what are you, 1 second, Tom, thanks. What are you committed to? If you're not committed to getting up at 5 and going to the gym, then stop saying it.
Mm.
If you're committed to it, you know, I would then look, if you say you're committed to it, I would then look and see why. Why am I committed to this? What is the purpose of giving up at 5 a.m. and going to the gym? Does your life depend on it? Is it something for you to look good? Is it something about actually being well? Is it about your vitality? Is it about you being able to get through the day? What is the purpose behind your commitment of 5 a.m. gym? You may find that it's inauthentic and it's pretense.
Mm.
And, you know, you will let yourself off the hook and have a back door every time if there's not anything real, authentic about your commitment and your declaration. Is there anything there you see?
I mean, the reason why I do that, or have the intention of getting up at that time, is just so I can have the health, the vitality, the exercise done and get to the office early.
Mhm.
But yeah, I mean, I see that there is some inauthenticity about it. There is some looking good about it, right? Like getting up before anyone else and getting a workout in before anyone else.
Yeah.
Or even just the exercise in itself. Like I exercise just enough so I can eat whatever I want, but it's not like
Yeah.
exercising to the point where it's full on, this is the best physique or the best health that I could be in. No,
Right.
it's like just enough so I can skip being obese, but you know, it's not fully fit, healthy, and active.
Yeah. So that's what I mean by pretense.
Yeah. I
It's
got that.
inauthentic. Yeah, good.
Really unauthentic. Yeah.
Yeah. Tom, what were you going to share?
Yeah, I mean, that even may not be inauthentic. I mean, if you want to be able to eat whatever you want and not be heavy, then you go work out. Like there's nothing wrong there.
Yeah.
But, you know, maybe looking at what you're up to and making a promise that you are realistically going to fulfill. Because, you know, you're just kind of beating yourself up about not getting to the gym at 5. So do it at 6. Do something more realistic, or maybe not every day. Maybe start at 3 times a week, but look at something that you can realistically fulfill and you can build momentum with that. And then you can add to it rather than having this big, huge thing of getting up at 5 o'clock every day. And then you don't get there. Then you beat yourself up, you make yourself wrong, and then you don't exercise. Try that on. I don't know.
Yep, good. Thanks, Tom.
May I offer something?
Sure, Fitzgerald.
So, Joshua, you're giving yourself a word, and the structure that you have is not working. So is there another structure that you could put in place to make it work? one of the things that we've been talking about a lot in the course supervisor training is if the promise is to ourselves, we're most likely not to keep it. So what comes to me is, can you have a gym buddy?
Yeah, or just a buddy to be accountable to. Like what we just talked about.
Yeah.
Like you say to somebody, I'm going to the gym 3 days a week at 5 o'clock. Now, they may not want you to call them at 5 o'clock or at 6, but that there's something in existence that you actually said, this is perfect, Fitzgerald. So Richard Brockman and I are working together on my vitality, fitness, and well-being, and I have an agreement to let him know every day if I'm not going to do whatever physicalness I said I was going to do. And there's days I'm not. I'm just not doing that today. I'm not going to go out and walk in the thunderstorm. But there is an accountability there to speak to someone else, to share with someone else about it. So that's great, Fitzgerald.
You know, when we did that exercise on the Monday call where we were in breakout rooms and then about what is incomplete in our lives. So,
Mhm.
you know, I've been talking about losing weight for like losing 10 pounds for a long time, like almost a year. And so I gained pounds. And so Kath Warner is my accountability partner with that. And within 2 weeks, less than 2 weeks, I've lost 8.
Great.
And also she's been having a project at home that she's been putting off for forever. And she sent me a video that she got half of her storage room cleaned out.
Yeah.
And it's just by having that accountability,
Yep.
and me checking in with her and her checking in with me.
It's great. Joshua, you could just do a little selfie video at 5:45, finishing my workout, and send it to whoever it is.
You could do Facebook Live.
Yeah, well, again, at that hour. All right, good examples, everybody. Let's move on. That's so perfect. So,
Can I just share one thing real quick?
yeah.
One of the things that Pedro and I had discussed also was the level of significance that we bring to restoring integrity. So practicing with your buddy is a high speed way to get the significance removed from the experience for us. And that's critical. Otherwise, we're just putting structures in place to make ourselves wrong. And then we waste a ton of time in wrong, and that's not what we're up to. If we're up to what a course supervisor is up to, we're restoring integrity and we're altering what it is to be a human being on this planet. So thank you.
Yeah, great, Pam. Okay, velocity. Clear, simple, to the point. I did share in the chat window, I don't know if it worked. I shared the document for the principles for restoring integrity from our website.
I got it.
Okay, great.
Works.
Yeah. I've never shared a document through chat before, so I wasn't sure if it worked. Okay, good. All right. Next.
Everybody just has to download it because it'll disappear.
Yeah, it'll disappear in the chat if you don't get it now. And it is on the course supervisor website. Okay. We requested everyone submit their 2021 course schedule request by Monday at 9 p.m. And about half of the program did not do that. So if you did not do that, and you're on this call now or listening to the recording, I request you send that to Dennis and myself as soon as possible. And if we're able to fulfill on your request, given everybody else's requests that we're on time, we will do what we can. Is there anyone here who's not sent in their requests?
I have not. And Tim, I request that you do give a deadline to not leave it open as soon as possible.
There was a deadline. There was actually 2 deadlines. There was last Friday and then there was Monday. And I'm not giving any more deadlines because it doesn't work. Obviously.
Okay.
So I decline your request. Because I don't know what works for you since you haven't been able to do it on two
No,
different
it's not
occasions.
for me. It's not for me. It's just that,
Well, I say
when-
for anybody. I don't know what, as soon as possible for whoever has not, and we will see if it works for your requests, given that we've already got people that have turned them in. Okay, now, here's some exciting news. It's all exciting, but really this is exciting. So our center manager called me last week and said, Tim, are you ready for some exciting hot off the press news? And I said, I don't know, today doesn't seem like a good day. Could you tell me later? No, kidding. So you have received the schedule for next year. You'll notice there are no communication courses in the Florida Center or in Florida scheduled. They're all scheduled at this time to be online communication courses. There are landmark forums and there are advanced courses that are scheduled in the state of Florida. And the March 19th landmark forum in Fort Lauderdale is happening. If it's safe and works to happen in person in the center, it will. And if not, it will be online. The landmark forum online is coming. It is in its final processes. And they're working on all there is to do to get people trained to lead the forum online to people who have never taken the forum before. And most likely, if the state of Florida continues the way it is now, it will be online, March 19th. So that's really exciting. And for those of you who prefer in-person courses, that may not be too exciting, but that's just what we're dealing with right now. Now, the other thing I want to ask people, in our local coordinator meeting last Saturday, the local coordinators were asked to take a pulse of our course supervisors around the question, if March 19th course is live in person in the center, are you comfortable being a course supervisor in person with people in a room other than your own living room? I mean, many of us are actually not leaving our homes. Are you there yet? Will you be there by then? So I don't expect you to be able to answer for March, but I really do want us to just start thinking about what is there for you in being with people that you don't know in a room, socially, I'm going to say physically distanced, wearing masks, and taking the precautions that the center, of course, will have lined out. And if you have anything now you want to say or ask, I don't know that I'll have any answers, but I do want to get a sense of what you're thinking about. What questions do you have? So that I can go back to Philip. And in December 12th, when we have our completion meeting, we'll be able to have those conversations. So is there anyone now who has any questions or any thoughts about it or anything you want to say about in-person courses?
I'm curious to know how the name tags are going to be handled, or handing out anything materialistic.
Yeah, so I don't have the answer to that. I do know that handouts, they don't actually do handouts. They're online and people download them for the centers that are actually having forums. I'm not sure about name tags. It's a good question.
What is the center doing in regards of sanitation?
Yeah, so there's a whole protocol for from the CDC, and like every country has their own. And in the US, we've not done any forums in the US, but Canada, right now, Vancouver has had forums. They have a whole schedule of forums between now and the end of the year. Japan, Auckland have also had, and Germany is starting forums. So whatever the country's public health requirements are, the centers are taking that on. So cleaning, having available sanitizers, sanitizing wipes, constantly production teams wiping down keeping all the chairs set physically the way they need to be set so that there is the physical distancing. Everybody required to wear masks at all times, leaders included. So whatever the health requirements are, public health requirements for that country, that's what the center is doing. Anything else?
I'm thinking like the floor, like the carpet. How often is
Uh-huh.
that cleaned? The amount of traffic coming in daily. Is it being cleaned daily? Is it being
Yeah.
cleaned at the beginning of the course and the end of the course? Or is it at the beginning of the day and the end of the day? How frequently?
Yeah, I don't know any of that,
Okay.
but I got it. Thank you. Those are good questions.
Yeah. Also the restrooms as well. How does a restroom situation look like, especially for the women, considering that they already have trouble with waiting in line to use the restroom? Now imagine having a social distance on top of that.
Yeah.
So how do you disseminate that many people when they go on break?
Well, one, yeah, I get that too. And the other thing is there won't be near as many. I think the most that I've heard of any form has been 56 people in a very large room.
Okay.
They'll be very small courses.
Okay.
So that will, make a difference in how many people are waiting in line, of course. But even then, it's like, okay, 3 women in the center, in the Florida centers, 6 feet apart. That's going to be a challenge, right?
Well, the other thing is, even because I did, except for social distancing, we did a COVID size course with Catherine, and I'm pretty sure, and Sherry, you correct me if I'm wrong, we had people just not wait for the break. I know it's compelling conversation, but that was one of the instructions I remember, had talking about. Please feel free to do that so y'all aren't having to cluster. So
Go to the bathroom earlier,
Mhm.
or yeah.
Yep.
Yep. Yeah, there will be a lot of differences, just put it that way. But what I want to get is what you have concerns about. So Joshua, thanks for those questions. Anybody else? And I know Desiree, you already submitted to me. When you submitted your schedule, you said what you said about not feeling comfortable. I really appreciate you saying what you said.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Hi, this is Sherry.
Yeah.
So I think it all depends on what's going on at any given time. If there's an escalation of cases, then
Yeah.
it's a conversation. If there's a vaccine available, there's another conversation.
Yeah.
I would, so I don't know that I could give a resounding yes, I will be on a course, because I don't know
Yeah.
what will be happening at
Yeah.
any moment in time, so that's just something that I think we all would have that same reaction.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah. And, there may be someone who's like, it doesn't bother me. I'm not afraid of it. I don't wear masks. Let me at it. I don't know. I know there are people on the planet who that is their point of view. So, and
Our president.
It could be someone here in our program. So I just want to, find
Right.
out who has questions, who doesn't.
I would just say if
Say who
Landmark,
you are. Tom, say who
this
you
is
are.
Tom Nestor, if Landmark and the state say it's safe to have the program, then I'm perfectly fine supervising it in person.
Got that. Yeah.
This is Noah.
Hmm.
I feel very comfortable if the courses, if the forum is done in person, to assist in person as well and be a course supervisor. Out here in Nevada with this job that I have, like the rules are very, very strict. And one of the things that I'm doing in my position is also ensuring that others are following the guidelines, staying 6 feet away from each other, make sure you're always wearing your masks, the gloves, the cleaning. And it's like there's a system to it. And I'm bringing course supervisor, the distinction course supervisor to everything that I'm doing. And, you know, it's worked in other countries, and, you know, for me, it works. So I'm definitely ready to go, and,
Great.
yeah.
Okay, good, thanks. Okay, anybody else?
My question, this is Fritz. My
Yeah.
question would be about the production team, etc. Would we have a production team?
Yes.
Or, okay, so the answer to that is yes?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, and yeah, got it.
Yeah, currently the forums that are happening, they have production teams, they have presentation manager, they have leader support, they have registration teams. Yeah. Now I will tell.
Is there any type of testing being required or recommended?
Not at this point, no. No. And I don't know. The other question I have is, are they taking temperatures of people before letting them in the course room or even in the center? I don't know that too. That would be one of my other questions. Is the center buying thermometers, and are we monitoring people's temperatures?
That would be an excellent precaution.
Yeah. And we all know too that there are people who are asymptomatic who still have the virus. So, but it is, if someone has a temperature, that could be an indicator of, you know, they shouldn't be here.
So I think that as far as testing, it would be a great service to the customer, okay, to have the people that we know are going to be assisting to provide them with a mean of testing.
I get that too. And here's what I'll say about testing. Being someone who's been HIV positive for 28 years, you can be tested and the next day be positive. You can be tested for corona, and within hours of being tested, you can then be, you know, infested, so to speak, infected by the virus. And then, so yeah, your test is negative, but you actually now are not. So there's a lot around testing. And yes, too, if someone tests positive, then for sure you don't want them on the team, right?
Yeah.
But a negative test doesn't ensure negativity.
I understand, but it's still a precaution.
Yeah, no, I'm not. I'm just saying what there is also for me around that.
Yeah, there are false positives too, but you know, you got to take your precaution, period.
Yeah. Okay, anything else about that? Yeah, Pam?
It's about the amount of courses that you're expecting us to be available for. I anticipate it's going to be different than normal years.
Well, nothing has been said yet from our chairperson. I will just say that I'm expecting for next year's courses, the competencies to be different.
Mm-hmm.
The requirements for the number of course supervisors per the number of people in the course will be different.
Mm-hmm.
I've been looking at the courses that have been happening and how many course supervisors they've had. There's a minimum of 2, and many of the courses there's been 3 and sometimes 4 course supervisors. And I'm guessing that it's because production teams and registration teams are not up to, you know, the standards. I don't know. So there will be lots of changes coming, I'm certain, around that. You know, if you're a level 2, your agreement is to do 6 courses a year. And if you're a level 1, 6 courses, and a level 3, minimum of 4. So that's what it is for right now. And that might change.
This is Fritz, Tim. So when you say the 4 core supervisors, the question that came to me is, so when we're meeting with the forum leader, where are we meeting and how are we going to make it that,
Yeah. Well,
that it is, you know,
yeah. You're not going to be in that little leader room either, right? But then not all
Exactly.
4 of you are either. Again, it's going to be a very unique year. We're all going to be dancing to music that we've never heard before.
Get it.
All right. I know Pedro and Joshua need to leave. The link I just shared with you guys is for the December 12th completion meeting. We're not having a 4th quarter classroom, but that is the date that we had scheduled our 4th quarter classroom. And we actually want to have a meeting. It'll probably be about 2 hours. We don't know yet the exact time of the meeting. It'll be on Zoom, and Philip will be running, managing and leading it. And it'll be an opportunity for us all to be acknowledged, acknowledge others, complete on anything that we want to get complete about, and then moving forward, creating what we're creating for our program for next year. Now, if I asked you today to create what the program looks like for you next year, that may be, you may be like, well, I don't know. And I'm creating them by December. We're going to have a little more certainty around some of the questions we might have today. So December 12th, if you will mark your attendance, and again, I don't know the exact time. It could be from 1 to 3. It could be from 10 to 12. I don't know yet. Philip hasn't said. But if you can put down your intention to attend that would be great. And as soon as I know the time, I'll nail that down and let everybody know. That's all the conversation I had for my agenda.
What was the date again?
December 12th. That link that I just put in the chat, if you click on it, it takes you to the meeting event on the website. December 12th. Let's look at one other thing here. I want to look at the calendar for our meetings in December. The 3rd and the 17th. No, sorry, not the 3rd, the 2nd and the 16th. Okay. Anything anybody has questions about or anything they want to share or say? If not, we can call the meeting complete.
Oh, just to mark the website, please.
Yes, good.
Mark.
Let me go right now to the website and get you the link, and I'll put it in here right now. Thank you, Pam. Completion.
Tim, this is Desiree.
Yeah.
I have a question now that you mentioned about marking the website. A few months, I think a month or so ago, you mentioned your request for everybody to mark their previous event that they had completed. Is that complete? Has everybody done that?
Pam, would you like to report on that?
Yes, it is not complete.
And the people that have not completed are in communication and are working on it. But it's a good question. It is not complete.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Oh, so it's not complete and in process.
It's in process. Yep.
Thanks, Desiree.
I have a
One
question.
question about that, Tim, is if you actually missed it and you didn't listen to the recording, and what do you say? You can't, legitimately, you can't say, yes, I did. And there's no place that says, no, thank you, goodbye.
Now, the request is to listen to the recording and complete what there is to complete, and then mark it on the website that you've done it.
Got it. Okay, cool. That would then complete it.
Yeah.
All right.
Yep, there's recordings for every one of those that are there for you to complete on.
So may I ask my question? This is Sherry.
Yeah, yeah, Sherry, go ahead.
How many pounds have you lost? 'Cause
Oh,
I noticed you're
yeah.
looking thinner.
Thank you. I'm gonna say it's the haircut, but I have.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, since I just looked at my graph, since June, I've lost 20 pounds. June,
Yay.
July, August, September.
Awesome.
Congrats.
That's
The
so
camera angle makes it look like more.
Well, I've lost more. Yeah, well,
All
The
of a
camera angle.
I bought a
Instead of
new,
it looking up at you.
Yeah.
I bought a new camera just for this.
Mm.
So I have another 20, and oh, this is so perfect. I'm glad you brought this up, Sherry. So I don't know if I said this to the whole program, but I think I put it in the WhatsApp, and I definitely told Philip, and I definitely Philip Rand, and I definitely told Amy Goodman that if I had not reached a certain weight by the 26th of October, which is my local coordinator anniversary date, that I would no longer be a local coordinator and no longer be a course supervisor. And I'm taking that back. I am still 16 pounds from that, but I am going to re-promise by the end of this year, December 31st, I will have lost those 16 pounds. I'm not going to be your local coordinator until you ask me to not, and I'm not going to be a course supervisor.
That's awesome.
So I'm
Great.
re-promising that.
And that was a big skin on the game to put. It's great.
It was.
It created
And
a world.
it still is. So I will communicate that in an email to Amy, Phillip, and the rest of the program. And to Emery Jennings, who is my regional partner. He's also someone I promised that to.
Great.
Yeah, thanks, Sherry.
Yep. Thank you.
All right, anything else?
Nope.
I'm going to stop the recording. It's so good to be with you guys and see you all.